Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at ADA. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications and leave us some feedback down below. We're always happy to hear from you, always interested to hear what your thoughts are on the market. Do you think we've set a bottom here and we're actually starting a new bull run, or do you think that we have lower to go? Always happy to hear from you guys, so drop something down in that comment section. Okay. So there's a few ways we're talking about this previously. Basically, one of the options is that we could have completed this fifth year, and this is all part of a corrective structure, potentially looking to break down towards this zone here of this 3043 to this 2652, this yellow box zone. And then this is all potentially looking to start a bigger corrective pattern to the downside here. And the way we would be looking at that is effectively because of the overlap within this higher range. We can argue that we have something like this playing out. So we do have a bullish potential as well within this, where we're looking for a breakout to the upside. So we'll go over a couple of options within this so that if we break down, we have an idea of where we're going. If we get that push to the upside, we also have a different scenario where we can have some targets available already. Okay. So looking in this, we'd be looking at this whole move as a corrective structure, an A wave down, a B wave to the upside, and potentially looking to break down for a 5-wave move here. So what this would be looking for is basically an A, B, and a C. So this C wave should be a 5-wave move. And there's a couple of ways we can look at this structure. We can look at this potentially as a 1-2, 1-2 that's getting formed because of how high we've come here. I was looking for a 4th wave initially here, but it's actually come up quite high. It hasn't invalidated by crossing this 3494, but it has come quite high. So I'm leaning more towards the idea that maybe we've completed with a short 4th wave in here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this low point, and effectively that's 1 and then 2. So either this, like I said, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, or alternatively this is just 1 and 2 if we're going to keep it simple until proven otherwise. So what we'd be looking for here, effectively, if this is the case, the thing is this is a 5-wave move here, so it could also be the end of this as a flat correction. So we need to just bear that in mind. So that's in our bullish count. So that would be looking for another push to the upside. So, but we're going to look at this bearish potential here. If this is the case, we'd be looking to actually move back into this zone here of this red box. And we can see here that the top end would be this 3952, the lower end this 3860. There's the golden pocket right here in this 39112 to this 3899 area, and basically this would be an area that we could actually look to break into and then look for rejection. So looking at the structure to the upside, what we would be looking for is this is potentially a wave 1, 2, and then looking for that drop for 3. So with this structure, if we come into this zone here, let's get it onto that wick. Here we go. So we can see the 1-to-1 of this basically it brings us into this zone here of this 3865. However, if we were talking about this potentially extending a little bit, we could actually move up towards this 1382, 1236, and pretty much anywhere up to this 1618. We wouldn't really want to go past that 1618 because then we would have to look at this differently and we'd have to start counting this as a 5-wave move to the upside, as a 1, 2, 3 there, potentially down for a 4th again and a 5th to the upside like this. And if we do get this as a 5-wave move, then that would probably be indicating to us that we're actually going to look to push up higher here and take this high point. So this bearish scenario is valid for as long as we stay below this 3991. If we break above that, this becomes invalidated, and this will have to be treated as an A, B, and a C to the downside. So if we do just push up as an A, B, C, like I said, depending on exactly where we travel up to, but this 0.618 lines up quite nicely with that 1382, so I'm going to leave that wave 2 on there, and I worked it all for that 0.618 anyway. So if this is the case and we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this low for 2, this looking as a 2 to the upside. So if we progress a little bit more up here and we don't manage to reach impulse, effectively what we could get is a breakdown for this wave 3. So this would only be confirmed by crossing this 3538, and what we'd be looking for here is basically what we need to be careful of is we could also just look to complete as a zigzag if this is correct, and we could just look at this as a 3-wave move to the downside as a B, and a C. So this would, if it does that, then it would tie into rather the bullish count that we were looking at, and basically you would have to just look at this whole move as a W, an X, and a Y if this plays out, and they would be looking to potentially target out this 36.48. Though if we do actually break down deeper, so within this structure, actually no, okay, that's fine. I need to adjust this slightly. So if we move down to this 0.618, which is actually this 3501, so that would actually be our 1.618 typical third wave. We get a fourth wave to the upside, and then potentially see this additional leg to the downside, to potentially around this zone here of this 1236 to this 3412 area. So this could be an area we actually look to target out. And I'm just going to get rid of these price labels here for a second, and I'll do it later. But basically, if we do move into this zone, this could then actually tie in with the C wave zone that we were talking about a while back here, which if I take the fib off of here up into there, okay, this has come up slightly, so we need to adjust this box as well. But basically, this would bring us into this zone here of this typical expanding flat. So that would be this red box area here between this 3492 to this 3350. This would be a zone we could actually look to target out, and effectively we could then have this play out as a expanding flat correction. And that could be either the start of a move to the downside, looking at this as an A wave, and then we're going to look for that retracement for a B and actually look to break down deeper for this yellow box like we've been talking about for a while now. Or alternatively, this could be a completed correction. So we'd have to keep an eye on what happens after this point. If we have this as a flat, it is possible that there's some kind of extension within here, and then basically we could have an additional fifth wave to the upside. If we did have something like that playing out, then what our target zone for that would effectively be potentially in this zone of back up here to this 4175 to this 3985. So it could be potentially looking to push up one more time if that does play out. So we'll have to just keep an eye on it. But otherwise, we could actually have this thing completed into here, and we could actually be starting this with a 5-wave move down, and we'll have to see what happens after this 5-wave move. If we have this 5-wave move to the downside, we'd have to watch that retracement, see if we get rejection, and whether we actually start to move away again, because we have also been talking about this in a slightly different way, where we were talking about this being a corrective structure and looking to actually complete into this high point here. And if that is the case, this 5-wave move could actually be the start of a move away from this area. So if we were talking about that, effectively what we would be looking at is the potential that this has played out, where the thing is we'd have to push this over into this zone here, and it wouldn't really make much sense unless we move the third over as well, and we have something like this, where actually this whole wave over here was a wave 1, 2, this is a 3, 4, and a 5, and actually we start to break down. So this would just be a bigger diagonal here than we were anticipating. I was looking for it to complete here, which it, for the most part it still could do that if we leave this where it was and we look at this as a corrective structure here rather than a 5-wave move like we were. Effectively, we could have actually completed here, and we could be making a bigger flat correction here, which could then either tell us that what we have is a scenario where this is a 1, 2, and this is a 1, 2, and then we're actually going to look to break up. Or alternatively, this could just be a zigzag completed, and then we're going to get a bigger structure here, still corrective, where this is an A, we break down for that B, and then we get a C wave to the upside. So we'll have to see how this plays out. If we maintain this 30 cent 75, and basically if I just pull this off here, if we're looking at this as a potential diagonal here, we could actually drop down towards this 3505 to this 3256, and that could actually then be looking for a bigger 5-wave move. This is a 1, we actually form this as a 2, and then we look to push up for that third wave. The confirmation would only really come by pushing up much higher, And if we just for argument's sake say we've completed into here, come down to this 618, it would be looking for an area, this area of about this 5132, and that would be looking for the potential that we could be extending here, where this is a 5-wave move as a wave 1, we get another 1 2 here, and then we actually look to push away. So it's something we've got to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's not my favorite count, to be honest with you, just because of the fact that this could be a few things within here. I'd want to see it prove itself if that is the case. And basically, like I said, what we'd be looking for with this move is actually looking to find support again in this zone here of this 50% to this 786. So that's what we'd be looking for within there. If we actually move down into this zone, find support, and then look to push away, then potentially we have some bullish counts within here, but there is other ways of counting this as well. So we just have to give it a bit of space and see how that plays out. 1 second, let's do that. Okay, so the other thing we were talking about is, because we were looking at this potentially as having an extension here within the waves, and this for the most part is still possible. So the way we'd be looking at this though is effectively we'd have an extension within one of these, within this 5-wave move here, and we'd be looking at this as a 1 2, then potentially this is a 1 2 3 4 5 up into this high point here. So there is a little bit of overlap within this, and this fourth wave does come down quite deep within the structure. So we just need to have it prove itself effectively. But what I was looking for within this, but like I said, I was looking for this to potentially be a 4th wave, but it did come quite high in relation to this 4th wave location we were looking at, and it is still possible. I mean, it came up to the 0.618 retracement of this, but it is also possible then, if we're going to look at this as a 5-wave move with a 0.618 retracement, that we could get this as a 1 2 1 2, and then we actually break down much deeper like we were talking about. But if this does play out as a 5th wave, what we would be looking for is this target zone here. I probably have to adjust this now because it's gone up a little bit higher. So this target zone would actually be here between this 23706 and this 03661 area. So if we do actually break down for another 5-wave move, this is a potential area we could look to complete if this is a 1 2 3 4 5. From that zone, effectively what we would have to be looking for is whether we manage to break this high point. If we do break this high point here, and we can push back up past this zone here of the 3991, then we could be looking for this wave 3 to be in play, where this is a wave 1 2, and then we could actually look for this breakout of this wave 3, though this would only get confirmed by actually pushing up here past this 4634. Failure to do so could just give us another corrective structure within this sequence, and basically we could just look for a move. If I just come down into this zone, basically if we get a 1-to-1 up here to this 4252 zone, we could just look at this as a corrective structure, and actually it's just becoming more complex, and we would have to readdress this as looking at it as an impulse, because it wouldn't really make sense anymore. If this is to be a bigger extension here, what we would want to see is, like I said, there is potential that this could complete into this low point. Alternatively, we could be getting some extension within this 5-wave move to the downside, and we're actually going to look to push down deeper. But if we are completed into this low point, and we're not going to get this 4th and 5th, so what we'd want to see to invalidate that is a push up past this 3893, and then finally taking this 3991. If we do see this play out and it reaches that impulsive trigger we were talking about earlier, and we get a bigger structure here, basically past this 1.618, this 3921, what we'd want to see is we'd want to see this move come up to here, get its 4th wave, potentially look to retest some of these support zones, and then push up again for a 5th. From there, we'd want to see that retracement, finding support, and then actually looking to progress to the upside from that area. We can argue if we do hit this impulse area, then potentially our 5th wave target would be this zone here, this 3961 to this 3938, and then we can speculate a retracement from this zone would be potentially somewhere between this 380 to this 3779. That would be where we would want to actually get this retracement come in. Interesting zone would be this 618 zone, potentially testing out this previous pocket here, testing these bottoms and this consolidation area here, and then actually looking to push up one more time. So this would be the bullish side of it. If we cross below this 3734, then I'd be looking for this green box area, though we would have to be careful that we don't have that extension going on that we were talking about within the bearish option. So just keep an eye out on that. If this does break down and we don't find support in this area and it continues to push down and we can't manage to break this 3991 on the retracement, then effectively we could be setting up for that deeper 5-wave move that we were talking about. So just we need to just be a bit careful with this and see how this plays out. If this does continue to progress up, there is that possibility we could move up into this zone here of this 3961 to this 3937 as a 5-wave move, and then look for that support zone in this 3840 to this 3779, and then look for that to become a 1-2 and then push up for a much bigger move. If we do have something like that play out, like I said, we'd have to push up here past this 4176 for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. But really, for this count to be in play, we'd have to have a much higher push. We'd have to push up past this 4634, and then that could potentially set us up for some additional structures to the upside here. It's not my preferred count this, but it is a possibility, so we're going to be tracking it anyway. I do think, however, that we could potentially just start to fall off from this point for a deeper retracement, though as long as we hold above this 3469, this 3237, then we could actually see this continue to push to the upside here. So if we do get a deeper move up, then effectively this is what we'd be looking for, is this push up towards these zones here, and then basically looking for this to complete as a 5-wave move. If this does play out as it is, like I said before, we'd have to potentially count this as a wave 1, 2, and then this would all become a wave 3 within this structure, and then actually look to push further up. And we would have to, it's not really worth me marking it all out at this point, because we're sort of in limbo over here. If we do get this push up, then we can start changing the labeling on this, because it is also possible this could just be an extension in the 5th wave, in which case after this 5-wave sequence we will have a deeper retracement. But yeah, we need to see whether we break down from here first. If we continue to hold these low points, then we can talk about this extension. However, we need to be aware of this bearish count here as well as a flat, where we could see this develop as a deeper move, potentially looking to target out this 3492, this 3428, or this 3358 50 area. And if that does extend down, the zone of, like our last zone of support that I'd be looking for would be this 3043 to this 2652. If we actually lose this zone, it becomes more likely that this has just been a corrective structure, and we have that diagonal shape that we talked about in the previous video, where we're actually going to look to break this low and continue the bear trend to the downside. So that's just something we need to be aware of. I'm going to leave the video there. I hope everyone found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications if you haven't already, and leave us some feedback. We're always happy to hear from you. Okay, and in the description below you'll also find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? Free to join. Once you're in there, general chat area, just add mention a member of staff. Will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description below you will find affiliate links to BYBIT and to PrimeXBT, both great exchanges. They're the ones we use when we're doing our trading. Really are great exchanges, and yeah, we recommend them. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone has a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care out there, everybody.